My name is Lindsay Lucas. I am a graduate of Antioch University. I completed my BA program in the area of concentration of human services in 5 quarters. I was changing my entire life. I was moving to a new area, making a new career, and I decided the best thing to do was to go back to school. A friend recommended Antioch University. I looked it up on the web and I was like, that sounds interesting. And luckily they had an open house a week later. I went to the open house and there was about 50 people there, all sitting in a circle, and we were asked to tell something about us that nobody knew. And I thought that was kind of weird because nobody knew me anyway. Yet it was also a time when I could share a little secret. So I shared that I went to clown school and that I wear a clown nose. Now, to my surprise, everyone turned around and smiled and giggled, and generally I don't get that response at all. Normally everyone's a little timid and wondering why. So it was then that I knew Antioch was definitely the place for me. During the application process, we were asked to write an essay, and it's a personal essay about your entire life. I was quite familiar with that, reflected on my life quite often, especially in essays, yet I had never been asked that of a college. And so I wrote this 7-page essay, single-spaced, and was able to express why I wanted to come here. And at the end, when I read it, I could hear my voice versus what my stats were versus what my SAT was. I could hear me. And that made me excited that they wanted to know who I was. One of my greatest learning experiences at Antioch was my internship. I went to a juvenile correction facility and pitched a theater rehabilitation program. I was escorted between probably 7 or 8 reams of security and taken to a cottage where there were 14 kids waiting for me. I got in there and I was terrified. I wasn't sure how they would respond to me. I wasn't sure how I would respond to them, yet I knew that the power of play was going to transform our space and time together. And it did. I was amazed at how they rose to the occasion to take an emotional risk, to say yes to each other, to actually play, even if they had hostility to each other. They still played with each other. And then to see them be creative and have their own voice and discoveries. And after I left there, I knew that that's exactly what I needed to do with my life. Antioch made the most sense to me, opposed to other colleges or trade schools, because it would take my credits, they were all transferable, but also they offered a class where I could write about my prior learning. Meaning the past 15 years of my life that I have spent learning were not put to waste. So I took 25 credits of my life and applied them. I wrote forever about them, and then in the end when they were evaluated, I got to actually see the reward of my own life experience validated through my credits, but also through someone else's eyes that said, wow, you did do some work while you were away from school. And that was extremely validating.